del Sur yung number 173 COC. Again, presently, we have 172 COCs. If we are going to exclude the 173rd COC, which is Lanao del Sur, can we now really proclaim the 12 senators? And will that not affect the ranking? So malalaman natin mamaya yon mula sa ating supervisory group. Although technically, alam nyo naman, alam na rin namin yung result dyan. But officially, we need that kind of report because that will be the basis of the NBOC resolution to proclaim the 12 winning senatorial candidates. Now, medyo komplikado po ng konti yung party list. Kasi po kaya komplikado ng konti sa mathematics natin, meron tayong numerator at saka denominator. Ang problem po natin, for purposes of determining the 2% threshold requirement of who will be entitled automatically to a seat, it should be based on the total number of voters who actually voted for the party list. Take note, total number of voters who actually voted for the party list. Hindi po pinag-uusapan yung total number of voters sa Lanao del Sur. For example, we have 685,000 voters sa Lanao del Sur. Ilan yung nakaboto doon? Halimbawa na, 603,000. Pero yung nakabotong yon, hindi naman lahat bumoto rin sa party list. So yun ang magiging basis na i-add natin sa overall total sa buong Pilipinas at sa abroad, yung bumoto sa party list. And so your question will be, can we really determine the denominator if the COC of Lanao del Sur will be excluded for purposes of computing the party list representation? Ang problem po kasi natin sa party list, yung difference ng iba, 1,000 lang. Sobrang lalapit ng difference. Yung iba naman, yung nakukuhang boto, kung di ako nagkakamali, mga 1.96, 1.98. So technically, pagka binasi namin doon, wala pa sila mapoproclaim. Di ba? So, yun ang inaalam natin mamaya and we will be waiting for the report of the supervisory group whether we can now proclaim also the party list at least partially. Take note, para sa kaalaman din po ng lahat, for purposes of the party list system of election, whoever will get the number 1 seat or the number 1 in rank will have automatically the 3 seats. Whether they will get 8%, 10%, whatever, they will only get the maximum 3 seats. Kung sino yung number 1 na yon, will always get 3 seats. Kaya naman, yung isang party list, halimbawa kahit maka 7.5, pero siya ay number 2 lang, halimbawa, that 7.5 or that party list will be entitled only to 2 seats. Maybe equivalent to 4% only. Pero just the same, entitled lang siya sa 2 seats. Because there will only be one party list organization that is entitled to 3 seats, and that is the first in rank party list organization. So mamaya po, 5 o'clock, we will definitely determine, again, maybe we can already announce din mamayang hapon who will be the officially, who will be the 12 winning senators. And at the same time, kung magpo-proclaim kami ng party list, who are these party list organization this afternoon by 5 o'clock. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor, sir. Director Rex Laudianco, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia. Before my update, we would just like to recognize the presence of Director Marcelo Bragado of the Department of Education, representing Secretary Briones. Good morning, sir. And he had just transmitted to us, the official letter of Secretary Briones for the request for the additional grant of honoraria for the teachers who have served, extended their service based on the VCM issues. Now, as mentioned by Commissioner Garcia, the NBOC had directed already the audit and tabulation groups to prepare Canvas report, the audit report, as well as Canvas report number 7. Going into Canvas report number 6, the summary of which is we had already covered 66,715,110. That accounts for the total number of registered voters canvassed under Canvas report number 6. And the total voter turnout there is 55,408,244. Meron lang po aking highlight. Based on that, Our voter turnout, progressive po, ano? We start with canvas report number 1, it's 83.64. Doon po sa na-canvas natin for canvas report 1. For canvas report number 2, our voter turnout is 84.81. For canvas report 3, that's 83.78%. Canvas report number 4, 83.05%. It's the same with canvas report number 5 and number 6. So across the board, our voter turnout is highest ever, and it is consistent, breaching the 83% mark. Okay? Today is the 8th day of canvas. Again, we will resume 5 p.m. this afternoon. For the others, instructions and details of the proclamation, we have with us Director Arabe and Ms. Charina Ko of the EID and the Events Committee, respectively. Ma'am, your briefers, please.
Si Director Arabis, ma'am, to give us walkthrough on what will happen po tomorrow sa proclamation.
I will just announce the details of the proclamation tomorrow. The proclamation will be on May 18, 2022 at 4 o'clock p.m. here at the PICC Forum 2. And at the moment, we have prepared an advisory for the senators, and the invitations are also in process, as well as the program, to give us a walkthrough of the proclamation. I will turn over the microphone to Ms. Charina Ko, our head for events.
Ms. Cha.
Thank you. Good afternoon. So we'd like to give some reminders to the media, specifically for how we will do tomorrow's proclamation. If you noticed when you went inside, we've already set up the barriers. We will be setting up a red carpet later in the day, and we will do a dry run. However, the following are very important reminders. So for the voter care bleachers on top, which you see right now is being occupied by EID voter care, that will be transformed to photographers area with a maximum of 50 capacity. Yun ang kaya lang po niya. Diyan sa taas po. We cannot exceed 50 photographers at any time. For the bleacher area, that will be 50 for your cameras and your other reporters. Dun po tayo dun sa baba. The reason for that is we have structural integrity issues. That design has been signed off by PICC structural engineer, the technical crew structural engineer also, for safety issues. So that structure, both the top and the bottom, can only occupy 50-50 max. So I think we will be working with EID to determine who are the 50 top and 50 bottom. Much as we want to be able to accommodate everyone, that will be a huge problem for structural integrity. Truth be told, may nagka-problema na po tayo dun sa bleachers na part. Ni-reinforce na po yan. But not the entire area has been reinforced. So if you crowd to one side, that will be a major concern for us. Babagsak po yan talaga. So baka hindi natin makayanan. There's also the issue of IATF protocols, which from Pasay City LGU also we were reminded that we still have to practice physical distancing. That's the reason why we have to do the 50 also. In as much as it's for your safety, kami rin, we worry about you. So we hope we can work together at determining the 50-50. For the outside po, while we do when we do the actual proclamation tomorrow, you will see that meron na po tayong barriers na nakaset up. We will allow photographers on the outside barrier, so they can take photos of the candidates as they do the red carpet walk. Photographers lang po yun. One camera, the Comelec camera, will be the one that will be stationed outside, and the feed will be brought in here para hindi ho tayo nagka-crowd sa labas as far as camera is concerned. So you will take your feed from the Comelec camera. We'd also like to remind our media partners that effective 11 p.m. tonight, no media vehicle na po will be allowed inside the parking area dito sa Forum 123. As it is now, if you noticed when you came in, there were already, no more vehicles were allowed to park in front of Forum 2. Pinatanggal na po natin yan. We want to make sure that it's free for vehicles of candidates, well, the primary and the secondary vehicle of candidates arriving tomorrow. So it's free pass for them. Tuloy-tuloy po tayo. So we're not allowing parking for anyone in front of Forum 2 tomorrow. Media will also be using Gate 1 for your entry tomorrow morning. On foot na po yan, going to Forum 2. So, and again, only for those who are authorized to be here for tomorrow. Only accredited, yeah. Only accredited media will be allowed entry. Yeah, we'll figure that out. So, kaya yun lang authorized on the list will be allowed entry at Gate 1. On foot na po yan tayo tomorrow. And we will be closing, kumbaga meron tayong arrival time for all of you also. So, kasi we expect, we hope that we will have a certain call time. We will finalize that call time with EID for the senators-elect. So, once ma-finalize yung call time na yon for them, you have to be here 30 minutes before na. And after that, hindi na kami papayag for entry for media. So we'll just work that out with them and we'll let you know. Meron pa bang iba? Hold on. So we hope to see all of you tomorrow, and we hope that you can help us maintain safety and physical distancing. We have Comelec Organic Security Force personnel that will be walking around with signages that says, silence please, please be seated, physical distancing please. We enjoin you to cooperate with us so that wala tayong problema. Pag nakita kasi din yan ng Pasay City, syempre, baka kami rin yung ma-penalty. We want to observe also LGU rules at this time, even if it's alert level 1. So,
Thank you, Ms. Chuck.
no. Antigen is not required naman po. You have your health card, your vax cards. The minimum is yung 2 doses. So, yeah, even the guests, sir. So, wala naman po tayong problem. As long as they're vaccinated, you're all allowed entry naman po. So thank you, and we hope to see you tomorrow. Have a nice day.
Come, George.
Officially, we invited the President, the Vice President, the Speaker of the House, and the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court to attend tomorrow's event, kung sakaling. And of course, the Senate President, kung sakaling available sila by tomorrow. So, in fact, yung arrangement natin may change in the event that these personalities will be present by tomorrow. So kahit yung arrangement natin sa inyo sa media may change simply because iba pagka biglang dumating sila lahat sa atin dito. Yun, alam niyo naman may mga protocol na kinakailangang i-observe natin kapag naandito yung mga top government officials natin na yan. So again, inuulit ko po kasi doon sa draft na kanilang invitation, hindi nakalagay, walang antigen test, walang RT-PCR test doon sa mga a-attend, sa 5 na mga invited guests nila, plus siyempre yung senatorial, the winning senatorial candidate, and all other guests are not required to show any test. What is important is meron lang silang vaccine card siguro, yung vaccine card, no?
Thank you, George, Your Honor, sir. Director Rex.
Additional advice po from us. Yung pong sa 12 winning senatorial candidates who will be proclaimed as senator-elect tomorrow, Director Arabe is now sending the email notices and invitations to the respective email addresses. Her office is likewise calling the numbers listed para po madali yung coordination, lalong-lalo na dun sa vax cards. Makakapag-coordinate na lang po kay Director Arabe upon the receipt of the email para po ma-submit na, that's correct, ano, Director Francis, to facilitate their entry tomorrow para na po hindi na magtagal. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. For our question and answer, the first to ask question is Ms. Tina Panganiban Perez, GMA 7, to be followed by Mr. RG Cruz of ABS-CBN. Ma'am Tina. May ground.
For anyone po, sino na po kina President, VP, CJ, Speaker, and SP ang nag-confirm na po ng attendance tomorrow?
As of this time, wala pa kasi ayaw din natin kaagad. Although, yung sa mga winning senatorial candidates, baka later pa na yung pagpapadala ng invitation, masyadong presumptuous naman tayo. Ayaw natin pangunahan yung announcement mamaya ng National Board of Canvassers. Siyempre, formal yun and official. Pero in the meantime, in advance, in-inform na natin yung kanilang team para lang wala silang schedule by tomorrow. Yung mga barong nila na dapat ipapagawa, baka sakaling pa pwede marush na hanggang mamayang hapon. Kay President, I think, nauna na kanina. Kay Vice President din, pati kay Senate President, kay Speaker, at saka kay Chief Justice. So that maybe they can squeeze the activity to their schedules by tomorrow.
Either for Commissioner or Director Rex, Buenafe et al. Have assailed the Comelec and Bank decision to junk the MR on the Marcos Cancel COC case for grave abuse of discretion. They are also asking Congress, sitting as NBOC, to not canvass the votes for Mr. Marcos. Any reaction?
Director Rex.
Given that Commissioner Garcia has taken no part in that, with your permission, the matter will always be ultimately deliberated, given that it's the canvassing which is being asked to be stopped by the National Board of Canvassers for the President and Vice President. And as we all know, it's the joint houses of Congress. And Comelec would not preempt any action on their part because under law, they are the one to canvass and ultimately proclaim the winning candidates for President and Vice President po.
Opo. Sir, dun sa issue ng grave abuse of discretion, they went up to the SC because the Comelec exercised grave abuse of discretion.
Given that the same is already lodged again with the Supreme Court and has taken cognizance of it, we will await the decision of the Supreme Court on the matter. And again, Comelec will always abide by any order, notice, or decision of the highest court of the land. Thank you.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Ms. Tina. Mr. RG Cruz, ABS-CBN, to be followed by Ms. Melissa Lopez, CNN Philippines. Sir RG.
For either the commissioner or the director, there has been a lot of discussion on social media about the decision of presumptive vice presidential candidate, presumptive vice president Sara Duterte to hold her oath of office in advance on June 19. So what does the law say insofar as when should a winning candidate, after proclamation, take his or her oath of office? Can it be done in advance of June 30, or must everybody who won in the election take their oaths of office on June 30 at noontime?
I will not answer specifically as regards the Vice President-elect taking her oath in advance of June 30, supposedly taking the oath of office and assumption. Pero gusto ko lang mag-set ng example. Madami po mga nanalong congressmen, senators, pagka-proclaim sa kanila, nag-o-oath ka agad sa isang notary public, sa isang judge, sa isang barangay captain. Ang tanong doon, is that the right move on the part of the winning candidate? Kasi dapat June 30 pa dapat yung assumption, yung oath of office. Pero technically din, kung titingnan nyo sa House of Representatives, yung nakakapag-cover na sa House dito, once na nagkaroon ng SONA sa hapon, yung third Monday of July, yung umaga, nag-o-oath sila before the Speaker of the House. So iba pa yung oath na yon, iba pa yung oath after the election, which is usually done after the election. And explain ko lang sa inyo na mabilis kung bakit ganon. It was because of the experiences in the past na once you are proclaimed and have taken the oath, if there is a pending case against you, then, especially if the case is pending before the Comelec loses jurisdiction. The oath and proclamation will divest the Comelec of jurisdiction, and therefore, under Article 6, Section 17 of the Constitution, the jurisdiction now belongs to the House of Representatives Electoral Tribunal, or in the case of Pimentel versus Comelec and Subiri, before the Senate Electoral Tribunal. However, I don't know what is the relevance now, because in the case of Reyes versus Comelec, the Supreme Court clarified that there is now the third requisite before the Comelec is divested of jurisdiction. First is proclamation, second is valid oath, and third is assumption to office. Which assumption to office can only happen at 12:01 of June 30. So maybe you can get the relevance there, but I think there is no pending case against the Vice President-elect before the Comelec. As to whether the assumption, the oath should happen at exactly 12 o'clock, marami rin tayo nangyaring nanalong presidente, kahit si Barack Obama nga at saka si Donald Trump, na parehas ang provision ng Constitution natin, nag-oath sila even several minutes before 12 o'clock. Question, is that a violation of the Constitution? Nobody questioned. Kung natatandaan ko, the two former presidents before took their oath at 11:45, not exactly at 12 o'clock. So meaning to say, pwede naman palang mas maaga. Basta ang usapan lang, mag-o-oath, number one, at exactly, mag-a-assume at exactly 12:01, at number two, dapat yung content ng kanilang oath ay yun nakalagay sa Constitution, sa Article 6 mismo. Eksakto dapat yun nakalagay, because that is what is provided for by the Constitution. Hindi nakalagay doon that the oath should happen at exactly 12 o'clock of June 30.
So to be clear, sir, hindi illegal, and it doesn't make it illegal or invalid yung oath kung mag-decide ng anybody who won and who is duly proclaimed, if they decide na mauuna sila sa June 30 mag-oath.
Yes, especially sa mga local. Yung iba kasi para lang may alam niyo naman, makapag party, makapagpakain, makapagpasalamat, nag-o-oath kahit kay kapitan muna. Yung formal oath can happen later. Yung iba naman sa judge, naghahanap ng huwes, ng isang notaryo publiko, basta may maipakita lang na oath kaagad. Pero yung formal oath can happen later. So it may be possible that you have taken your oath now, and then you will have another oath later. There is no prohibition that you will have several oaths. In fact, tomorrow, after the proclamation of the 12 winning senatorial candidates, nobody can prevent them from taking an oath before even a commissioner of the commissioner election or before the chairman of the commissioner election.
So it's not, to be very clear, hindi illegal yun.
Wala naman tayong nakikita doon na problema.
Thank you, George, Sir RG. Ms. Melissa Lopez, CNN Philippines, to be followed by Mr. Greg Gregorio, TV5. Ms. Mel.
Sir, good afternoon. Maybe for ma'am, just walk us through, ma'am, the security detail. May nabanggit ka kanina, ma'am, na organic security forces of Comelec will be patrolling the area, but who else will be deputized to secure the area? And paano po siya mag-change in case any of our VIP sitting officials confirm?
Okay, for internal, anything within the forum is balik, Comelec Organic Security Force po yan, ang in charge dito sa loob. Perimeters po we will be assisted by the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police. As is what we normally do and expected, should the President arrive, then the PSG will take over po right away. But until such time that we receive formal or actual notice of that, then our preparations will continue. COSF, Comelec Security, AFP, PNP, PSPG is also part of the planning po. We have PFP, MMDA, so they're all looped in. So we're all ready to make adjustments or to strengthen or harden the security plan for the venue.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're
Ma'am,
welcome.
sorry, may figure kayo kung ilang personnel of AFP and PNP roughly yung madedeploy for tomorrow?
That's kind of confidential as of now. Thank you.
Sige po. For Com George, sir, just to put it on the record, kasi may discrepancies nga po kanina as with previous days on the audit reports, on the COCs. Ano po yung reason for the discrepancies and malaki po ba?
Yun ang para sa kaalaman ng mga kababayan natin, para din sa inyo, sa members of media. Diyan yung makikita yung problema sa manual election. Siguro sa sobrang pagod ng mga teacher, sa sobrang pagod ng mga nasa post natin, nagkakamali sila ng pag-transfer. At lagi yon, consistent yun ng manual election. Lagi nagkakamali yung pagta-transfer ng result from the SOV papuntang COC. Kasi ang daming papel nun. Sobrang daming papel. So, litong-lito ka na pagod ka na puyat pa, nagkakamali sila ng lipat. May mga instances naman in the past, intentional na mali. Kaya yung dagdag bawas, nangyayari sa canvassing. Kaya nga po ito yung learning lesson sa ating lahat. Yung dagdag bawas po, hindi mangyayari sa presinto. Kung bibilangin ng guro, ng teacher, ng electoral board, yung boto, may watcher sa likod niya eh. Magagalit sa kanya pag nagkamali ng basa. Yung canvassing, dyan nangyayari before nung manual election tayo, yung dagdag bawas. 100 ang boto, lalagyan ng 0, 1,000 na. 1,000 ang boto, tatanggalan ng 0, 100 na lang. Ganyan-ganyan din po yung nangyayari. Kaya po yung kung napansin ninyo, walang problema sa electronically transmitted. Ang problema doon sa meron tayong manually prepared COC, nagkamali. At yun ang kagandahan din na meron tayong tabulation and audit group. Because yung tabulation and audit group natin, nakikita nila, kasi sinusuma total uli nila yan. Tapos ino-audit nila, tinitingnan nila kung talagang tama yung computation. We will not just rely doon sa sinabi ng board na ito yung tabulation nila, ito yung computation nila. We will always retabulate and audit that result. Kaya nakikita po natin.
Sir, hindi naman siya malaki. I mean, is it a huge, are these huge numbers? Do we attribute it to human error or deliberate po ba?
Hindi naman. So far naman, yung mga 5 votes, 1 vote, but just the same, discrepancy pa rin yun. And ang usual na process natin dyan, nire-refer lahat yan sa law department for proper investigation. Kasi we have to determine din kung talaga namang naantok lang, o baka intentional, or baka whatever. Because otherwise, kinakailangan kasi na hindi mangyayari ang ganyan na discrepancy. But of course, human error lagi, pumapasok, nagbibigay tayo ng konting leeway sa ganyan.
Thank you, Com.
Thank you, Com. Thank you, Ms. Mel. Mr. Greg Gregorio, TV5. Okay na. Mr. Dante Amento, UNTV. To be followed by Ms. Mads Villar, Net 25. Sir Dante.
Kay Commissioner George, pang-context lang po, Attorney. Meron na bang nangyaring ganong kaso in the past na kinu-question o hinarangan ang ginawang canvassing ng NBOC Congress para hindi ma-proclaim ang isang presumptive president, and what was happened po? Anong ruling ng High Tribunal?
Noong 2010, tayo ako ng tayo nun eh. Hindi ko alam kung naaalala nyo, tayo ako ng tayo nun, di ba? I'm the lawyer of President Mayor Erap Estrada at that time when he ran again for president. I always stood up at that time kasi may kine-question ako lagi ng kine-question. Kaya lang, noted lang ako ng noted. But I'm not delaying. I'm just trying to point out the certain problems. You know, as a lawyer kasi, may mga issues pertaining, for example, sa transmission, pertaining, for example, sa ganito. Ang magiging issue lang po para alam din nating lahat. Sa canvassing po kasi, limitado lang ang pwede mong ma-raise na issue. Hindi ka pwede mag-raise ng issue ng vote buying. Produkto yan ng vote buying. Kasi these are not proper in a canvassing proceedings. For example, natatandaan nyo yung unang araw natin, may isang tumayo na lawyer representing a senatorial candidate na sinabi niya may nakausap sila na allegedly operator at sabi sinisingilan sila ng gantong millions of pesos kasi imamaniobra daw yung eleksyon. Hindi natin siya completely dinisregard. But we referred the matter to the NBank of the Comelec. But the National Board of Canvassers is not the proper body to elevate and raise these matters. Kaya when you go to Congress, the question is, will the issues be raised that will be raised by parties and council proper for purposes of canvassing? Take note po, walang pre-proclamation controversy for the position of President, Vice President, Senators, and Congressmen. Walang pre-proclamation controversy. Except illegal proceedings of the board, illegal composition of the Board of Canvassers. Aside from that, you cannot raise any other issue. If you want to raise this kind of issues, file an election protest. Yun po ang rule natin lagi.
Does it mean po na maring ma-dismiss yung petition na hinihingi ng Buenafe et al? Possible ba yan na i-dismiss ng Supreme Court?
Hindi ko masasagot yun, Kadante. Of course, it is discretionary on the part of the Honorable Supreme Court whether the petition is meritorious, in form and substance. Nasa kagalang-galang na Korte Suprema natin yon. And at this point, of course, the Comelec being a party to that case, we will just wait for the action of the Supreme Court on what the Supreme Court will do as far as the case is concerned.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Sir Dante. Ms. Mads Villar, Net 25.
Hi, sir. First po muna kay Director Francis or kay Ms. Cha. Tanong ko lang po, bukas ay, paano po, may dress code po ba for the media?
No dress code for the media. And also, I would like to add that after the proclamation, you will be allowed to interview the candidates. Pero dito lang tayo, dito pa rin sa... you can actually interview them from the floor, but you should be inside the media area pa rin.
And, Director?
The dress code for the senators and our guests as well will be kasuotang Pilipino.
Pati po yung companion po nila, yung companion po ng winning senators.
Yes. The senator and guests as well as our VIP guests.
Opo. And paano po yung accreditation po ng media tomorrow? Meron po bang limit ng news team per network na pwede pong mag-cover sa proclamation?
Sorry, the media that are not accredited for
Hindi
this.
po. Kung magkakaroon po ng limit sa news team po per network na pwede pong mag-cover?
Most likely, yes, because of the 50-50, 50 top, 50 bottom. So, yeah, most likely. Doon sa taas, if you notice, diba we have chairs and tables, that will all go naman po. Mawawala naman po lahat yan tomorrow. Tonight. We will start fixing by tonight. So, mamaya, by tomorrow, malinis na naman siya, but most likely. To be able to accommodate as many as we can doon sa 50-50 na yon.
Opo. And paano po yung accreditation? Yung mga meron pong ganito, yung pwede cover?
We will coordinate with them to at least prioritize the ones that were already accredited by EID.
Opo. And kay Commissioner Garcia, sir, meron na pong update doon sa DQ petition versus Raffy Tulfo?
As far as ako, miyembro ko ng second division, wala akong nalaman patungkol. Siguro baka wala kasi sa division namin, baka nasa first division. So, yun. Take note then that whatever is the decision of the division is not final and executory. I'm not particularly referring to that case. Pero para lang din, may mga nagtatanong kasi paano kung may pending case. So, ang rule kasi natin, hanggat walang final and executory decision ang NBank, the decision of the NBank becomes final and executory in 5 days. In a disqualification case, unless restrained by the Supreme Court. So until today, ang alam natin, yung case na binabanggit nyo, ang alam natin, nasa division pa lang yon. So wala pang NBank case. Of course, it's a different matter as far as the party lists are concerned. Kasi sa party list, kapag ka-organization yung pinapadisqualify, we do not usually proclaim. Kapag ang pinapadisqualify naman ay yung nominees, Pinoproclaim natin yung party list organization, but we refuse to issue certificate of proclamation sa party list representatives, nominees. So, doon sa case na yon, until today, wala akong nakikita. So, perhaps hindi sa division namin, at sigurado hindi pa rin sa NBank. Dahil kung may kauna-una magsasign doon, ako yung kauna magsasign doon sa isang resolution. But until today, I have not signed any resolution concerning that case.
Thank you po.
Thank you, friends from the media, Commissioner Garcia, Director Rex, Director Arabe, and Ms. Cha. Maraming salamat, magandang hapon.
Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay
Ay,
po,
ano daw pala,
Pilipinas.
class picture with Director